why reinvent the wheel? If if plan A works, why go through all that research headache to understand what plan A is when you can just
Say, how's the fam?
Overflow.
Welcome back to How's the Fam, okay? Your podcast about family, friends, and growth. And today, I got one of my good friends, one of my neos, a good brother from my fraternity, and low-key, one of my great classmates from Jackson State, everybody. Everybody, welcome to Libe. Welcome
what's
to the
going
show,
on,
bro.
everybody?
Yeah, man, welcome to the show. Bro, let them know just a little bit about you, man. Let them know who you are.
Well, Tyler, first and foremost, man, thank you for having me on the show, man. But yeah, bro, my name is Delibe. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. Went to Jackson State. Went to grad school in Wisconsin, and I'm currently working here in the Dallas Fort Worth area as a
Yo,
project engineer. So that's what I do full time, but I'm also a full time hustler as well. So I'm sure that we'll dive deep into all of those aspects as we continue the show.
it is an understatement. One of the hardest working people I've met, okay? Consistently for years. I don't even think he's taken a vacation yet. Goodness. The man just working. All right. But you guys know how it flows here. We have this segment called Just Checking In, okay? And Just Checking In, Felipe is exactly what it sounds like. It's us just checking in with the people, letting them know how things are going, okay? And so I'll start with
Sure
mine
thing.
and then I'm gonna let you do yours, all right?
Okay.
All right, cool. All right. So my just checking in story, y'all, is I live right beside this gas station, right? And so I have I'm hyper aware of what the gas price is, more or less at all times. All right. And I don't know what's happening. I don't know how we got here, but some of y'all I said I was gonna visit, I might not be visiting, all right? Because gas is too daggum high out here. So on one hand, like I talked to Chuck already, by the way, the Lee Bay, and like he was talking
Yeah.
about like operating in your budget and like how a budget isn't exactly what you think it is and all this other stuff. But I must admit, there is a cost to like just driving out and seeing people. I wanted to see you, Perriman, Kurt, and some of y'all just like link up, like
Right.
one on one, not in a group setting, just to touch the people, make sure everybody was good. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that now, man. Like it's gonna have to be a group. Like it's gonna have to be a group set. And
Right.
I was wondering, like, man, how do we creep up to where we are? Especially like in California, gas is it's hot, but like here in Texas, for the most part, things be pretty chill. So
Yeah.
I'm over here just trying to plan out like what the rest of the year is looking like, and we gonna see. That might be
Yeah.
a limiting
We definitely
factor.
will.
Yeah. That might be a limiting factor, man. That's my just checking in story. Now, the Lee Bay, what we just checking in, man? What you got for the people?
Man, life is good, man. I really
Yeah,
cannot complain, man. Like things are well. I'm actually at work right now. But of course,
of
that's
course
a
you are.
whole that's a whole nother story. But you know, things are good, man. I think that I am truly in a space that I can consistently grow and try to mold into understanding my true purpose in life. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of my biggest things as I get older too. It's like, why am I truly here? Why did I wake up this morning? Why did the Lord give me the opportunity to wake up this morning? So I just try to take each day as a day that I can, one, grow, and two, reflect on the things that I could have done and the things that I have done to actually get me to the place that I am today. So when most people ask me, excuse me, when most people ask me um, what's good or how are things going, my response 9 times out of 10 is I can't complain because everything that I do in life and everything that I have done so far, man, it's just been by the grace of God, and He's continuing to bless me. So life is truly good.
Bro, that's incredible. That's incredible. I did want to ask one follow up question. Like
Sure.
this ain't even the podcast. Like this ain't even the question part of the podcast. But you saying
Yeah.
you're finally in a place where you feel like you can consistently grow, right? So what did it look like trying? What did it look like finding that place? Like what did it look like transitioning from where you were to where you are now?
It was very difficult because consistent growth is based on one thing: discipline.
Hmm.
And I can say that some days are more challenging than others. It's the discipline to wake up early in the morning at 5 or 4:30. It's the discipline to go to the gym every single day or do some type of activity every day. It's the discipline to read every single day and finding time throughout your 24 hours to make that happen. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. You can sleep for 8, you can go to work for 8, and you can do whatever else you want to do with the remainder 8 hours of the day. So it's truly finding ways to be able to fit everything in, still have energy, still be able to socialize with different people, go to work, go to sleep, and just find time to do all of it, you know. So I think that was the biggest transition, and I feel like I'm still in that state of transitioning because there's some days I was late to work this morning, got my
I talked about
butt
that.
chewed,
Ah,
but it's all good because I'm still doing what I have to do to get to that next level. And I think for most people, what we have to understand is every day is not going to be peachy, every day is not going to be great, but if we can build on that day and do what we have to do and just try to make those little things, those little habits consistent, that's all that we can truly ask for.
you read a book called The Compound Effect?
I have not.
I'll send you my copy. I will actually I
Okay.
will give you my copy, and
Okay.
you explain exactly what he talks about in that book.
Really.
Like just a quick synopsis. Just a quick synopsis. Like he was just saying, we are a combination of the things that we do every single day. Like a person doesn't get fat from eating, bad once.
Yeah.
Once a week. You don't get bad eating bad once a day. It's like where you get bad at is eating once a day for like 3 years, or like
Yeah.
eating consistently, right? And then vice versa. Like you don't get educated by going to college, right? It's just not how it works. You get educated by reading every single day and putting that into discipline, and then
Yep.
like doing that cycle of learn, mess up, and that's that
Exactly.
combination of doing that over years is how you become educated, right? And so I'm gonna send you that
Absolutely.
book, bro. I think you're gonna enjoy it a
Sure
lot.
thing.
Yeah, me, Jason, Chuck, a lot of us ready. All right, you guys,
Okay.
that has been just checking in. All right, and before we get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, all right, I have one sponsor, and I love to bring to y'all, and that is Pray, Plan, Execute. Okay, Pray, Plan, Execute is a faith-based athleisure brand. Okay, they make very comfortable clothing and low key. It was created for people like me and you, Delipe. Real talk, it was created for people like me and you. People who know that to accomplish their purpose, they need God, they need a plan, and then they actually got to go out there and make it happen, okay? And it's for those who understand that a gentle reminder, just sitting here wearing your faith on your chest, is okay, right? Now, for those of you who are like me, for those of you who are like Delipe, all right? What you can do is you can go to prayplanexecute.shop. Again, you can go to prayplanexecute.shop and you can use code FAM. That is FAM. FAM at checkout. And you can get the family discount so that you can wear your faith, okay? Now remember, Pray Plan Execute is more than a brand, it's a lifestyle. And I will preface this with we are not your financial advisor.
That's a fact.
So any advice that you've taken throughout this entire podcast, right? Like this is you. Like this is your decision, not ours. Now, if you would like a
Exactly.
financial advisor, you need to seek out a financial professional. All right. All right. Now, Delibe, man, this is one of the few interviews where I'm going to talk about something I really don't know that much about. I hear the
Okay.
he say she say. I hear the like it doesn't take all of that. Like it's very simple. But I brought the perfect person on here to talk about real estate, to talk about flipping, to talk about Airbnb. All right? I brought the guy. All right. So if you're a simple person like me, stay tuned because the Libe got us. All right. Now, first off, what drew you into this space in the first place? Like, what was the motivating factor?
I think for me, growing up, my parents owned rental property in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
So I've been around the business for some time. I've been the person that my parents sent to the tenants to go and collect rent.
Okay.
I've changed toilets. I've fixed toilets. I've painted homes. I've redone carpet. I've put in tiles. I've done a little bit of everything as it relates to renovation and remodeling of homes on the lower end, right? So this was a space for me that I knew and I was very knowledgeable about at a early age, and it was one of those things that as I grew older and started getting some income, I wanted to see if I how I could invest my income and be able to have multiple streams of income. You always hear that notion that you want at least seven streams,
I
be
hear
it
that all the
that,
time.
yeah. So, like, what opportunities can we get other than our day job that we can use to maximize our income, you know? So, for me, uh, when I transitioned from graduate school to Dallas, it was I was finally done with school. It
Hmm.
was just a time that I knew that I had to grow up. My first year in Dallas, I wasn't really doing too much. I was enjoying life because I was in school for 25 plus years.
Yeah.
So I really just took that time to just chill and just enjoy the city of Dallas. Then I got focused, more focused, my second year. And I started thinking that I can do real estate alone.
Hmm.
A lot of people think that they can just buy a course or go to YouTube University, which is true. People can do that, and I've seen people do it as individuals, and then they start growing out their team.
Hmm.
But truly, I think for us, especially as African Americans, to get ahead in the real estate industry is to partner up with someone that is either eager to do the business or someone that has already done the business and they have a clear track track record. You know, they always say that you can go far by yourself, but you can go further with others and with a team, a group of one or two other individuals with you. You can truly go further. But I started out listening to Bigger Pockets
Yeah.
and uh, Real Estate Mastermind and multifamily podcasts and things of that nature.
Okay.
Started going to meetups. Started rubbing elbows with older individuals, couples, and things of that nature that have done the business for 30, 40 years. Started getting to know the different title companies and contractors and attorneys and lenders,
Yeah.
appraisers, all these individuals that are very integral in that process of real estate investing. They may not be directly on your payroll, but you have to work with them to actually get these deals done.
Mm.
Uh, so currently,
That's what's up.
I have a team of three, including myself, that we are been teaming up together for a year now. You know,
Nice.
and just trying to find new avenues to increase our profit margin as well as increase the capital that we have and increase how many properties we're able to buy, sell, hold on to, and rent. So yeah,
That's what's up,
that's kind of
bro.
how I got into it, man.
I see
Yeah,
what you're saying. You say you pretty much you ingrained yourself into the space. Like you grew up in it already, but then you ingrained yourself. Like you surrounded yourself. You would listen to podcasts. You went to
yeah.
masterminds. You talked to the people. You went to the seminars. Like you dove into it head first. And then you also talked about some of the misconceptions. I don't know which one I want to hear. Actually, let's hit some more misconceptions first. Because you say a lot of people think they can go on YouTube University and get this done. A lot of y'all think, and not that you can't, but what are some of the other misconceptions that you found in this space?
Um, I think it was just the knowledge base.
Mm,
A lot of people, when I started out, I didn't know what wholesaling was. I didn't know what subject to was. I didn't know what owner finance. I've heard owner finance from an intelligent perspective. You can probably put one and two together, but to
hmm
kind of dive into the weeds of it, I didn't really know what that meant. You know, so I think one of the misconceptions is that people can figure things out. Well,
hmm
let me walk that statement back
Go
because
ahead.
a lot of times you can figure things out. You can get a property under contract and then just figure out everything else after you get the property under contract.
Hmm
Because a lot of times we have analysis paralysis, meaning that we do a lot of research. We go to all of these seminars. We go read all these books, listen to all these podcasts, and we just doing the same thing. The same thing we did this year, the same thing that we're gonna do in
Oh,
2022.
say
You
that.
know what I'm saying? So it's like at some point you gotta stop doing the research. At some point you gotta stop going to YouTube University and you gotta take action.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Similar to what your shirt has on. Shout out to our good brother Jason Gibson
JG.
with Pray, Plan, and Execute. I have a couple of his shirts as well,
Yeah,
but you have to really pray about it, plan out a course of action, and then take action. You have to take action. I
yeah,
think that's a huge misconception is that we can get all of this knowledge in, and now we're not distributing that knowledge. Now it's just stored energy, stored knowledge, rather than that knowledge and that energy being used to acquire money, or
yeah,
used to acquire more knowledge, or used to acquire network opportunities and connections that you're gonna have to need in this space, in
hmm
any space really. If you're a pastor, if you're an educator, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, you need those networks, you need those connections.
yeah,
Because most probably we want to start our own church, we want to start our own law firm, we want to start our own clinic. You know, with all those startups, you got to have banks, you got to have private money, you got to have individuals that have funds, access to capital, and putting yourself in those different areas alleviates a lot of that stress.
yeah, it does.
And a lot of people say, "Why reinvent the wheel? If if Plan A works, why go through all that research headache to understand what Plan A is when you can just essentially copy and paste? We're no longer in school. Copying and pasting is not cheating anymore. You know, so that's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah,
So
dog. I say you got to steal like an artist. If you see the blueprint,
yeah,
follow the blueprint.
go
Right?
for it.
And you can make
Yep,
like once you get the blueprint running, you can make your own like onesie twosie thing, and you can make it your own then. But at its core, the DNA, the structure needs to be the blueprint, right? That's great, man. So,
absolutely.
so you've talked back a couple times about like just people entering the space, and you like, oh, you know what, you actually can, and then So let me go ahead and ask the question. That way, you can go ahead and get in there.
That's
Is how can
yeah.
people enter this space?
I think it depends on the market. If you're in a larger market like Dallas, Texas, I think it's extremely easy. I think that you can just Google real estate meetups. They have one here in Dallas. They have one in Hurst, and I'm sure that they have one in Richardson and other places. There's another event that's coming up in January. It's called D Event.
Hmm
Look up on Instagram D Event,
hmm
and that's just a free event that is hosted. I think it's January 10th, if I'm not mistaken, at the
Okay.
Virgin Hotel in Dallas in the Design District. And you're going to see real estate moguls. You're going to see newbies. You're going to see people that are intermediate, all levels. You're going to see title companies. You're going to see uh, realtors, investors, contractors, lenders. Everybody is going to be in that space. That's the great way to get into this industry in the city of Dallas. I
Okay.
think if you have some listeners in smaller markets, let's say my hometown of Jackson, Mississippi. Tyler, are you from Jackson?
I am. Well, I'm from the Jackson area.
Which
I'm from a
city?
place called Pocahontas.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's where the casino is, I think. I believe.
No, no, no. It ain't a casino. It was a it was a barbecue place that was shaped in the form of a teepee. It actually caught on fire because they weren't cleaning the
Really?
grill, and
Oh, dang,
they
dang.
changed it to a Family
Okay.
Dollar.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Mississippi. Okay. But in
but it ain't
smaller
far from
markets,
Jackson.
okay, like Pocahontas or Jackson or Vicksburg, I think the easiest way to get into the real estate space is to reach out to realtors, reach out to wholesalers, reach out to different individuals that's already in the market because unfortunately, we may not have these larger events that you can kind of go to. You know, there may be. I haven't done my research on the Jackson market as it relates to different events, but
Okay.
I know a lot of people in the city of Jackson, that's doing real estate. So I could be that liaison. You know, um, but
Cool.
I think truly you have to do your research. I think you truly have to understand which space you want to navigate. Do you want to do fix and flips? Do you have the capital to purchase uh investment home? Do you want to buy a duplex and live in one half and then rent the other half? Do you want to do wholesaling? Do you want to buy and hold and rent it out? I think those are the questions that you have to ask yourself first to truly understand how you what's your next move. Because some options you need capital for,
Yep.
some options you don't need capital for. That was my hurdle when I first got started. So then I kind of transitioned to wholesaling, where you don't really need capital. You may need a little capital to market. You may need a little capital to buy these We Buy Houses signs or
Hmm.
to do a text message campaign. Most of the data that you can pull is from the county. Most times it's very cheap or free, you know. Then you have to find ways to get their numbers through different skip tracing agencies. But I mean, it's a known blueprint. You just got to figure out which lane you want to follow.
That's awesome, man. I will say, if this real estate is a space that you really want to go in, Delive has given you so many keywords that you can just search yourself. You can enter these into YouTube. You can enter these into Google. If you're a Bing person, I don't know who you are, but
Absolutely,
these keywords that he's saying are words that you can be searching. Okay, so you have to show a little bit of initiative. You have to show a little bit of
absolutely.
hunger, and take those steps. Look at those keywords, and like you said, you got to ingrain yourself into this culture. Like if you really want to figure it out, it really is a click away. That's the beauty of the internet, right?
It's true.
So,
Yep.
Delibe, you've talked about real estate. You've given us the sky level of like telling us that. Now, let's get into mindset and let's get into actual like discipline, right? Because one of the things you are known for is being a hard worker, being a diligent worker, right? And so, my question is, how do you prepare for the work that you do?
Man, that is a. It's not a difficult question to answer, but it's a very. I appreciate the question. How do I get prepared to work? Is just that mindset. And mindset is predicated on a couple things as well. Mindset is predicated on your discipline. And most importantly, mindset is dedicated on your motivation. Because there's some days that I don't want to get up in the morning at 5 in the morning. There's some days by 8 o'clock I am dog tired and I still got things to do. There's some days that I just want to drive past the gym and go straight home.
Mm,
But it's putting those consistent actions in place and finding ways to motivate yourself and having that right circle around you to continue to motivate you. They say that you are the average of the five people that you hang around with.
The most,
So
yeah.
sometimes, as we grow and as we get more disciplined in our different disciplines, we have to start pulling away from individuals that's not helping your growth.
Hmm.
Sometimes these individuals could be family members, they could be friends, they could be people from college or what have you.
Hmm.
It's not that you it's not that you can't socialize with them and have a good time, but you know that there's places for that time frame. You know,
I
if it's
like to
business,
say,
you know,
you
yeah,
can't hang out with a 3 minute friend for an hour.
exactly. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. You know, and I think having the right circle and the right support circle around you is crucial, and that helps me a lot. Family is one of my biggest motivations. You know, my parents did a lot for us growing up. You know, we was never in a situation that we wanted. And well, we wanted the PlayStation 3. He may give us a PlayStation 2, you
Yeah.
know, but we still had a PlayStation in the house. You know, it's not that we had the best thing, but he made sure that he provided him and my mom too. Uh, they both provided for us, and they made sure that school was a focal point so that we can get good grades, go to college, get a good job, and stay there for 30 years. But now it's a twist. It's a it's a it's a twist in it now.
Yeah.
Now for me it's go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and use that money from that job to invest so that my investments can outweigh my job and eventually I can tell the job deuces.
It's
You
like,
know.
thank you.
So you know, uh but I think you just gotta find different ways to motivate you because and have that energy too. You know, I think a lot of time energy is important and understand when you need to rest. That's something that
Mm,
is very difficult for me as well.
that's good.
Telling myself, Delibe, slow down, breathe, brother. Just sit here and do nothing. Sit here
Yeah.
and watch the game and
I'm not
drink a
good at
beer.
that either. I'm not good at that
You
either.
know, I got my whole week planned out,
Mm.
and if I get 80% done, I feel like I had a good week. But some weeks I get 70, 40%, not 40, because I'm always do something. But some weeks I get less done. Excuse me. Some weeks I get less done than I truly want to. And
Hmm.
then the next week I feel like I need to push it into overdrive. But then
Yeah.
you gotta understand, you gotta chill. So at the beginning of the podcast, you said that I probably haven't taken a vacation in a while, which is not entirely true. But on my last vacation, I told myself I'm not going to bring my laptop. I'm
Mm.
just going to enjoy my vacation and not think about anything. I can think about a plan in my head, but I'm not trying to write anything down. I'm just trying to enjoy the time with the people that I was on vacation with. And when I came back, I saw my energy level increase
Mm.
because our bodies are just like our phones or our Apple Watches. They have batteries and they get depleted. If we don't take time to charge our batteries to elevate our lifespan or our energy level, you know, we can be doing things but not fully engaged in it. You know,
Mm.
I can be writing a paper or doing something that I need to do for the business and I'm half-assing it because my energy level isn't above average. You know, so that's something that I'm working on myself is taking our time to focus on business and actually get things done, as well as taking our time to focus on myself and my life to increase my energy level, which ultimately increases my motivation and drive to wake up every morning.
That's what's up, bro. 'Cause I was definitely gonna ask you about balance and how you keep, the output high. And you just gave it to us, man. You gave it to us. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Delibe, brother, thank you for being on the show. Is there anything else that you want to pour into the people before we get into the last segment?
Um, I think the last segment is where I give the
Words of
motivation.
encouragement.
So
Yeah, that's words of
I
encouragement.
I will leave that
All
right
right,
there. But I think
cool.
before we go to the next segment, I just want to touch on one last thing.
What you
We
got,
didn't
brother?
touch on Airbnb, so I'll touch on that briefly as well. I
All right.
think for that we have to truly just find different things to increase our income. And one way that I'm doing that is with Airbnb.
Okay.
A lot of times people think that they have to own that asset, but there is something called leasing arbitrage that you can actually lease out an apartment complex and do short-term rentals.
Hmm.
The key is to try not to disclose that you're trying to put that property on the market on Airbnb simply because it's frowned upon, you know. But you have to ask the apartment complex if they accept corporate leasing, which will essentially allow your corporation or your LLC to be on the lease. When you do that, you remove the liability from yourself and everything is on the business.
Hmm.
And then you can go into these apartment complexes, get a unit, and rent it out. But the way that I do it is when I go to the apartment, I ask them if they have corporate leasing or if they do corporate leasing. Most times they don't know what that is, so I have to explain it to them. But my spiel is that my company provides housing for travel nurses and construction workers. And during the summer months, we provide housing for college students that are doing their internship program here in the Dallas Fort Worth area,
Hmm.
which is essentially short term rental. And that's essentially what we're trying to do here. So just finding different ways to uh, diversify your assets. And another way, and I'm just gonna put this quick tidbit out there, is cryptocurrency. So
Hey,
that may be a
I
whole
am.
nother spiel.
Yes, yes, I am. Yeah, I think if you don't understand crypto, you need to learn, like at least learn the basis of it, because
Yeah,
I ain't gonna get too far into it. But Web3, I mean, it's coming whether you like it or not. So
yeah.
you might as well at least understand these different systems that are going to be in place and how they affect you. And crypto
And
is
see
a
if you can, great asset, and see if you could jump on that bandwagon early on rather than after the show has already started. So
yeah. You know what's funny about that? I
what's that?
understand it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be an early adopter. Like, I'm one of the people who I fully understand it. I feel it. I kind of get where it's going, but my problem is it's almost like the dot com bubble, right? 90, maybe 95% of these coins aren't gonna be the one. Like, there's gonna be like one, maybe three or four of them that are gonna be like, if you had this at the right time, you're the guy. And I was like, I'm not good enough to pick which one that is. So
So
I'm okay with being a late adopter, but I
I
do
think
understand.
uh, I think for someone with your knowledge set, I think it's really just about doing the research. I have a mentor of mine, and he's really heavy into it, and he does extensive research on it. And he tells me which one I should look into, not which one I should buy.
Buy,
He
but
wants
would
me to
you
go
look
back
into?
and do my research too. I do
Yeah,
my research on it and understand what that coin is backed by.
yeah,
Gold was backed by an actual material,
hmm,
actual mineral or natural resource. Silver is the same way. What is the U.S. dollar backed by?
absolutely nothing. It's backed by hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams of a stable economy,
Yes,
which ain't worth the F because the debt ceiling continues to go up. When the United States reaches $10 billion in debt, Congress and those guys, they just pass it to make it $11 trillion. They just keep raising it up.
magic.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother conversation where we can dive into good debt and bad debt, but we can, I diverge. What I'm saying is that there are certain cryptocurrencies that Even if you put $500 into it and you buy it at 0.2 cents, and that 500 coins go to $3,
Like
that's
or a nickel.
still or
Yeah,
a nickel. That spread is still crazy. So there are definitely some of them. Cardano, XRP, of course Bitcoin, but I'm not buying Bitcoin because it's just too high right now. But
exactly.
Ethereum though, Ethereum, if you can wait till it gets to about $3,000, 2,500, that's a solid one to kind of dive into now as well.
Yeah. I will say at the tail end of this that we are not your financial advisor.
That's a fact.
So any advice that you've taken throughout this entire podcast, right? Like this is you. Like this is your decision, not ours. Now, if you would like a
Exactly.
financial advisor, you need to seek out a financial professional. All right. Delibe, bro. Number one, thank you for being on the show. Incredible,
Gratitude.
insightful. I loved it, man. This has been a great time. We like to end
Absolutely.
each episode with words of encouragement. And I'm gonna give you some time so you can think of one. The words of encouragement is just us telling the people, pouring into the people, just letting them know, like give them something that they can hold on to.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna let you think of one. I'm gonna tie this up, and then I'm gonna give mine, and then I'm gonna let you roll. All right.
Sure thing.
All right, let's do it. Hey, you guys, if you made it this far into the episode, like this far, you are among a rare group of people. Okay, so number one, thank you. Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. You have no idea how much that means to me. All right. Number two, what I want you guys to do, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow the podcast. That way you can stay up to date whenever we upload episodes and that you can just be part of this family, friends, and growth. Like you can just be part of this growth, of this podcast. All right. Comment below on the YouTube version what you would like us to talk about next, and if you would like Delibe to come back on and talk crypto and talk some of these other financial systems that he knows. Okay. And let's see here, you guys. Check out Pray Plan Execute. Okay. Go to prayplanexecute.shop and use code FAM for the family discount. Okay. And my words of encouragement for the people is focus. You guys have to focus, man. Focus is killing y'all. You guys are too quick to hop on the next big thing. You guys are too quick to just abandon what your previous blueprint is. One of the things about a blueprint is you can't see the full picture until you've actually erected what the blueprint is trying to build. But to build it, it takes time. So you guys got to put in the focus over a certain amount of time so that you actually can yield the results you're trying to get. Let's focus on one thing. If we can accomplish one thing every day over years, you will be an incredible person. You can actually turn around and be like, man, I can't believe that's where I was all those years ago. But without focus, you're going to get 5 years into the future and you're going to be in the exact same place, watching on the exact same device, listening to the exact same things that you could have been acting on in the future. So, what I'm asking you guys to do is just simply this: focus. Now, Believe, what are your words of encouragement for the people, brother?
I actually have two. Uh,
Let's
my
hear it.
old my old assistant principal, rest in peace, Coach Fred Harris. His statement was always, "Every day is a work day." I think that if we take that focus that you just talked about and apply it to this concept of every day is a work day, even Sundays, even if you need your Sundays to plan for the week or to meal
Mm-hmm.
prep or to get that last workout in for the week, go to church. Every single day we can do something that can give us the opportunity to be better and to live better academically, professionally, socially, mentally, and most importantly, spiritually.
Mm,
I think that if we try to focus and as well as move forward and make sure that everything that we're doing is consistent with discipline, I think that we can truly move forward as a unit. And in the next 5 or 10 years, these same individuals that are listening to this podcast, we can find ways to connect with one another and build something incredible. My last thought before I depart is truly words from our dear fraternity, a poem that we had to remember. Don't quit. Rest if you must, but
Ooh.
don't quit. I think for me, that's a challenge to rest, because I always feel like if I'm taking a nap, I'm missing something. If I'm taking a nap, I could be doing X, Y, and Z. But we also have to understand that there's an old African proverb that says, "Body no be firewood," that our body isn't wood. Our body isn't a machine, that we have to take time to rest our bodies. However, we don't want to rest too long. Rest if you must, but don't quit.
And you guys heard it here on How's the Fam, okay? Libre, thank you for stopping by. And fams, all good.
Gratitude.
Y'all be blessed.